Hey guys, it's a Gundam Boy, and I know in the past I said I wouldn't cover this weapon, but I think it'd be nice to have a record of the weapon in its current state for future comparisons. That's right, we're taking a look at the Epoch. So if you're interested in checking out this weapon for yourself, you can get it on the control group Warbon on the first page. What's that, little Taurus? It's Epic? Alright, fine, I'll say Epic. There's been a lot of confusion about this weapon's combat role, in terms of what it can do. But I asked my followers to see how you guys feel about it personally. Underwhelming, I honestly think safe mode would be kinda good, but I would rather trade higher splash damage and more contact damage. Other concerns focused mainly around the gun's accuracy, and the fact that it's a stationary reload. Spread bad. And I don't know what function it serves. Regarding the weapon's accuracy, that's already been acknowledged by the dev team to be a bug, so they're gonna work on that already. But I thought the most interesting concern that I've seen so far is what function does this weapon serve? But I'm the Gundam Boy. I typically focus on weapons for my videos. So let's take a closer look at the Epoch. I mean Epic. Taking a sniff at its stats, we can see how the gun in its uncharged shot would do 400 ballistic damage and 400 explosive damage. And it's important to note because their damage types are two separate things. It's why you can snipe something like a Hulk in his eye. While it's in its full charge state, it can hit with 800 DPS for both the ballistic and the explosive damage, which means this gun has a lot of boom. But if you're terrible at timing your shots, there is a lot of visual indicators on this gun that'll let you know that it's ready to blast. Similar to the railgun, there is an indicator on the back of this weapon that will charge up. But you can also use the firing pins on top of the weapon to give you an idea of when it's ready to fire. Just don't overcharge it or you'll die. This weapon has a fair amount of range, but after a max distance it will explode, and you'll have to compensate for gravity because this thing drops like a 500 kilogram baby. Only if you could predict where the bloom's gonna go next. While it is capable of killing things like behemoth chargers in the head with 2 shots, or taking him out from his butt crack, or if you're democracy's favorite child and you land a snipe right on the Hulk's eye, it can be an anti-tank role. In its full charge state, it can go to the first level of anti-tank, but we do have a lot of different anti-tank options in this game that would do it better. But after spending a lot of time with this weapon, I think of it more as a heavy pen gun that can do anti-tank jobs. You'll have to aim at the weak points, of course, but for like larger enemies, but in its current state, it's not always guaranteed. Where something like an expendable can kill a charger or a Hulk in one shot, you kinda have to spend more time focusing with this weapon to kill a heavy. But think of it as stabbing a cow with a plasma-based butter knife. A combat use I see this weapon fitting a similar role to is the recoilless in its HE mode. If you remember this weapon setting, then you would know that it's capable of bypassing the infinite health shield of a heavy dev. The fact that a shield dev can block 3 anti-tank rounds is one too many. And the next time I see a heavy dev, it'll be too soon. And the Epic can do this job as well, and it can probably do it better. It doesn't even matter if you hit the dev directly. Hitting his shield would be enough to kill him. It's also nice to use on overseers that are in large groups. This one just gave up after seeing his entire team get mowed down. From what I've learned after using this gun, this makes the Epoch sort of a heavy grenade launcher. Don't let this shoulder-mounted buggy reload trick you into thinking it's an anti-tanker. It's a heavy pen weapon with anti-tank capabilities. But there's an elephant in the room. This weapon's blast range is comically small. The RR's blast range is way wider using it in the AG mode, making it capable of hitting more enemies in a group. It's not even funny, things like Dynamite has a bigger blast range. Like, forget the aim problem, that's an obvious fix. This weapon needs some beef in that explosion, because that VFX and the actual blast radius doesn't do it justice. I think making the Epic a much more dedicated HE weapon to punch massive holes in enemy fighting groups would be a better option than where it sits right now. Otherwise, it's a dollar store anti-tank weapon, and a worse version of a crowd clearing weapon. Giving it a bigger blast radius would make it a more predictable version of something like the Airburst while still being heavy capable, unlike the Airburst. Otherwise, the small blast range on this weapon chokes this gun hard. I'm not a game dev, or I have ever developed anything, but I figured that this would be a nicer fit for something that has a giant blast effect. But what do you guys think of this weapon? What do you guys hope to see from any changes we get from it? Otherwise, leave it in the comments down below and I'll see you guys later. What is he doing up there? Oh, he's gone!
Wait, he disappeared! He's gone!